Now, so if we look at the indicative content for the LO1 and LO2, so LO1 was majorly based on the role of IT in organizations, or alternatively the role of information systems in organizations, isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, like we discussed earlier, there is data, information, and the way they process it, and the types of the information systems. They further classify to the needs, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we further discussed some of the types of the databases, and obviously by looking at the nature of the data, yeah, the different types of the databases are being used. Yeah. So
Okay, yeah.
again, if we say that information system heavily, yeah, used for the information storage and processing, then definitely the database management systems are behind, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when it comes to the limitation of the databases, then what is the option?
Sorry, can you say that again?
If something is beyond the approach of the databases, yeah, then what is the next approach?
Is that the expert system?
No, basically that's the big data.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah. So big
Yeah.
data, and furthermore, the big data and the new course, new terminology, new idea is nowadays being circulated, which is the data analysis or the data analytics.
Yeah, okay.
Have you heard about it?
Yeah, this course has one of them, doesn't it? One of the modules, I think.
Yeah, one of the modules as well. So that's basically the data science. Yeah. So under the data science, so the big data, the other, their technologies, and the approaches behind them are basically the behind that data science and the big data for working on larger number of the researches. So basically it has become the need of every organization now as well. So probably the, for example, dealing with let's say hundreds or thousands, or even let's say up to 1 million records. Yeah. For processing the 1 million records, it may be at the maximum limit of the database. Yeah. To process, let's say 100, let's say a million record. Yeah. So for example, the population or the national database. Yeah. The national database would be should have been capable to process. Do you remember how much is the how many millions is the population of UK?
Oh, I can't. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
it changes all the time. It changes all the time. The population of the UK.
Let's say, for example, 66 millions. Yeah. So comparing the records, yeah. For example, if the police needs any record, yeah, out of 66 million people, and even it's not necessary that 66 million people would be registered on the police database, but at least maybe 50 million should have been registered, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be very difficult for the conventional database system to get the information properly, isn't it?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's not only the, let's say, for the purpose of, let's say, security and other concern, but even if we talk about the application of any business and spread worldwide, yeah, and maybe the a social media platform, yeah, which needs to target at the highest levels of the data in terms of volume, then these conventional databases would fail, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they just won't be able to take it, will they?
Yeah. So what I believe that like increasing the computational power, yeah, is the, let's say, cloud computing, grid computing, and other these things. They are basically an extension to the hardware side, yeah, and the
Yeah.
data science is basically the extension and innovation into the software side for such type of large applications. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the ideology and the concept behind, and thus it's good that we revise these concepts. Yeah, and obviously we would be going through the data analytics unit, and but it's good to have information. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
right. So regarding the databases, it's overall the I mean, regarding the information system, it is obviously depending on the databases and the information technology, or the role of information systems is the key thing. Yeah. And uh, in the LO1, so we discussed the IT systems or the information systems as well as databases, and we also discussed the quality assurance, yeah, that how to evaluate the existing standards of the information systems. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
you remember? Yeah, we discussed
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so now let us pick up some important topics for the LO2 and eliminate some of the repeating things. I should have, directly jumped to the PPTs, but it would be good that you should also be clear with these, topics, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always good to go over all this stuff again.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's quite a while ago now since I did that
yeah,
module in level 5. It
yeah,
must have easily 6 months.
yeah, yeah. So every time, most of the things when they repeat and then you get confused, that what should we include every time, into that assessment criteria, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And there is, to be
Yeah.
honest, there is no definite answer for this. Probably, either there is a repetition, yeah, or saying, that this has already been achieved into, let's say, assessment criteria 1.2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, the new topic here is how to get the value added change in the organization. Yeah. So, value added
Yeah.
change and basically the competitive advantage, they are the kind of advantages they want to get, but slightly the terminology used for the value creation is different than the competitive advantage. Yeah. And
Okay.
did you get the chance to have a look on the value creation?
On the what, sorry?
I mean, the topics for today's discussion are value creation, competitive advantage,
No.
made by decisions, cost and benefit analysis.
Yeah, last time, just after the session, I had to look through the learning outcomes and the indicative content.
Yeah,
I had a quick look, yeah.
yeah. So competitive advantage, if you recall, then it was done in the strategic management information systems. Yeah. So today we will discuss
Yeah.
we will discuss the value creation, make or buy decisions, cost and benefit analysis. Yeah. Furthermore, it says critically evaluate the specific information systems So overall, this is basically the evaluating the information systems. Yeah. Because if we further look at the indicative content, it says new and existing approaches to improving IT position and impact on their business areas, proving value added, services. So if we look at the type of the information systems, yeah, then all those answers, like the different types of the information systems will have a different roles in different types of achieving the different purposes. Yeah, because different business require different value added things, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, there isn't a specific, topic or the answer to this, that let us try to find the, in the uh, forward meaning or straightforward meaning, that we find the IT systems which provide the value added. However, when we classify the different types of the information systems, then they give the individual value added, value addition. Make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I tried a lot to find something useful for this, but again, this is basically the types of the information systems which give a different kinds of values to the organizations. Yeah, makes sense?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And again,
Yeah.
review the management information systems in organizations. Again, if you want to review, it means you want to evaluate the information system, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So overall, yeah, evaluating or reviewing the information system, yeah, and that's let's say A, and the B is that individual value added change or individual characteristic of the information system, which we discuss about, would be the basically actual answer to these, the assessment criteria. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we could list out, let's say, the different types of the information systems would have a different value added change. Yeah. And those code could be used for a specific type of the, organizations. Yeah. So that
Okay.
was
Yeah.
the overall, discussion. So what we will do, like we discussed, that we have already discussed the types of the information systems, yeah, and evaluation of the information systems. So it is a repeating thing basically, and what we will discuss today, overall these four things, yeah: the value creation, competitive advantage, make or buy decisions, and cost and benefit analysis. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And the next LO is basically the porters some models and the strategies, yeah, that what the strategy is and how to create the strategy, how to implement the strategy, and what are the models for implementing the strategies, yeah. So this LO is somehow has got a potential number of topics that we will discuss in the next session. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so the aim is same. So now value creation strategy. So value creation is any process that creates outputs that are more valuable than its inputs. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
For example,
That could be if you had loads of different numbers and you were to do something with those numbers, it would come out at a higher than the input.
no. Basically, value creation is the value of a creation. Yeah. Value creation is a value of creation means value of invention. Yeah. Value of invention is, for example, if you have got a mud, yeah, and out of mud, when you create the crockery, yeah, and then you decorate it, yeah, do you think that crockery or the utensils or pots made out of mud, they have a much more value than the mud?
Okay, yeah.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I get it now, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, that's the value creation, and people try to, do something that you input less and get more. That's the idea behind value creation. Makes sense?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I get that now, yeah.
So, for example, another, the idea, the business idea is, for example, if you are selling gold, yeah. So, if you want to sell a gold at a good, at the expensive price, and you can't sell it at the expensive price because it has some, the specified price from the government, yeah. And
Mm.
if for selling the gold, you need to buy the gold, isn't it?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
But so in this way, that business won't be suitable or more profitable as compared to the other businesses, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
For example, if you have got a piece of land, yeah, and if the land is just uh, you know uh, uh, free land, yeah, and it is, if it is in front of your house, and if you go and buy a pack of the seeds, yeah, any plant or any fruit or vegetable, which is very easy, you just need to throw the seed into the land, yeah, a portion of the land, yeah, and when it grows on its own, and you only get the value from it, then do you think that that would be a best value creation strategy?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
basically the idea behind the value creation or value added change that the organizations want. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I get that now. Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. And even sometime, when I think, I try to, for example, try to sell something over the eBay, for example, or Amazon, then I always say that, even if you, for example, you are buying the used or the second-hand laptops, uh, when you got a lot from the companies, there's also the kind of recycling, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. The recyclers, what they say, when they say, that even if you buy that particular thing, then it won't give you the enough profit, because you get, you don't really get that much cheap, and you can't sell them that much expensive. So
Y-
but
Yeah.
anything that you craft it, yeah, would be a value creation. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Now, the performance of actions that increase the worth of the goods, services, or even a business, many business operators now focus on value creation, both in the context of creating better value for customers purchasing its products and services, as well as for stock shareholders in the business who want to see their stake appreciate in value. So, normally, if there is a company, then company itself has got the customer base, yeah, and they want the customers to be happy with the products or services, and the company wants a minimum investment on the processing and maximum output in the profit, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
As well as not only taking the profit to the owners of the company, but if it is a shared market, because what happens when the companies grow, yeah, they create a kind of shares in the market.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah? Like, if you could see in the share market, then, you can see the Amazon has got the shares. Yeah. The other companies have
Yeah.
got,
Yeah.
yeah. So how, do you have any idea that how these shares are, contributing to the companies?
That's shares. I've never really got. I've never really understood stocks and shares. I understand like cryptocurrency and buying and trading that, but I've never really understood shares, how it actually works.
Okay, so cryptocurrency, so you have understood, and have you tried any trading in with the cryptocurrency?
No, I haven't. No, but I've been following it now for quite a long
Okay,
time.
yeah,
But I know I have a good idea
okay,
of how it works.
yeah. So let us, give a little touch to the how the shares work, because the type of the, unit is a kind of related with the organizations and shares and these things, and the topic has topic is emerged now. So what happens, for example, if you own a company, yeah, and you are doing very well, if the worth of, the company is, let's say, 1 million pounds, yeah, then what would
Yeah.
happen? You would try to sell the ownership, yeah. When you would try to sell the ownership, let's say you want to sell the 50% share of the company, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what would happen if you were the owner of, let's say, 1 million worth company, and you sold it, the 50%? It means the 50%, the shares that you sold, you took it home into your pocket.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it means
Yeah.
now you are only the owner in the 50%. And again, what you did, you not basically you shared the ownership. Yeah, you sold it. For what purpose? The purpose was to, there could be multiple purposes. One is that you wanted to, let's say, sell half, one thing, yeah, and take some money, half of the investment into your pocket, as well as, for example, divided the, ownership. Also, let it be public, so that its, growing could be increased by the reputation.
Okay.
Yeah. So when the
Have you
yeah,
have you ever bought shares?
I haven't bought, but the idea is behind this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So what would happen when the company was already, grown, and what would happen if the shares would have been divided? Then the board of directors would also be divided. Yeah. So
Yeah.
any decisions, or the improvements, anything would also have been, decisions would have been taken by the 50% owner. So in this way, what would happen, that it's not only the case that you should only be producing the, let's say, products and good services, but you should also consider that you are not the only owner of the company, but your shareholders, are also the owners. Yeah, and they should also get the good advantage. My means, for example, if you are keeping the good profit, and if the shares are not growing, yeah, then again, it's not a good business, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
You buy shares. You want it to increase.
yeah. Share,
Otherwise, what's the point?
yeah. The same way, like, the Bitcoin was, yeah, it used to be very, like into the $1, for example. But when the value of that particular thing increased, then, the sharing and, buying that particular share, is Bitcoin, for example, cryptocurrency is also a kind of share. Yeah. Who created the Bitcoin? Those who mined, did the Bitcoin mining. Yeah. Technologically. But those who bought it, yeah, they really expected the, change. And if the strategically the company was doing very well, then the shareholders were also, given the advantage. And if the company did wrong, yeah, and didn't do well, then the shares would go
Mm.
and damage the, portion of the, major ownership, as well as, the shareholders. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. So that's the basically idea behind, keeping the shares into the market. And obviously there are always the advantages to have the shares, because for example, Amazon nowadays, if you go to the Amazon shares, yeah, then the value, the day they created the shares, it was, in very low, and now it's about 2000 US dollars per share. Yeah. And when the Amazon would be creating a further more sustainable business value, yeah, then that share value would increase, isn't it?
Yeah, if you bought shares in Amazon back
Yeah.
in 1995,
Yeah.
you would be a multimillionaire now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So, but never, nobody, noticed this, that, the Amazon is going to be that much. But even there could be certain, drastic changes, yeah, and very dramatic changes that, it can fall, maybe. If you are looking about the, the short term, then during the short term, due to any, the, what should I say, any inflation, or, the any international change, trade things, many more things, can happen. The shares can go down. And for example, if you look at the cryptocurrency, it's been about 6 months. Yeah, the cryptocurrency was very down as compared to 2018. But since last, since the beginning of Feb, it has grown up, and it is growing, furthermore, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Are you aware of it? Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I follow it every day. Yeah. In May, there's going to be a Bitcoin halving.
Bitcoin,
Um, a Bitcoin halving.
halving, yeah. The half of the pool is
Yeah.
going completed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they predict that the value will go up because there won't be so many Bitcoins to mine.
Yeah. But again, there is another school of thought that if the Bitcoin would be halved, then, the selling would be reduced. Yeah. And if the selling would be reduced, the demand would automatically be, high. But complexity of the Bitcoin, would be increased as well. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Technology.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when the technologically the complexity would, be decreased and increased, then the overall purpose and the claims behind the Bitcoin and the, the blockchains would still be, challenged. And when they would be challenged, then probably, some other market competitors would be claiming more, than the Bitcoin, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I follow Bitcoin quite a
Yeah.
bit because I just find it interesting because it's something new.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting, and it is only, good if you had some money and you could invest it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that, but
Yeah.
it's good to
Yeah.
see it progress.
Okay, good. Yeah. So, uh, let's move further. So, basically, the discussing the, the valuation and the creating value for the current and creating value for the future. Yeah. And with respect to organizations, not only the organizations, the technology wise. Yeah. And it has a much more, need to predict, yeah, for the future. isn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we went into the little bit more in detail about the shares and the bitcoins. Yeah. I hope that this discussion would also be useful for anyone else who would be looking at, and repeating this, isn't it?
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Now, so value creation examples, like I gave an example, like farmers use land, equipment, water, labor, sunlight, and seeds to grow onions. Yeah. So this process creates value from resources, like, even if they spent the labor, water, but the fruit is much more, worth to sell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the same way, when you produce a product, yeah, you input your labor and the capital and energy, but again you sell at some good profit, isn't it?
Yeah.
The services that you give, for example, using the information technology, yeah, and for processing the, let's say, anything, yeah, it is much more worth to use the technology, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then processes could be any, let's say, for example, the inquiry system or the customer services implemented using the technology would still be helpful. Yeah. Then machines,
Cool.
whenever you create, if you have a machine, you are trying to make some pieces of, let's say, uh, anything, let's say high speed trains, the components of high speed trains. From just metal you are creating the wheels of the, the train. From just metal you are creating some body of the train are useful, and it's again, the creation. Information technology itself, for example, you use it, and you try to uh, manage the resources, and you want to get some, money from it, using invoicing system, the payments, payrolls, others. It helps you. It is worth to use the information technology. Work is like, a craft person or anyone who creates something from wood or mud, they have more value. Knowledge work, yeah. For example, if you have a knowledge of, for example, if the software, the Photoshop, you can buy the Photoshop for, let's say, 100 pounds. Yeah. But if you know the work, then you can create the designing for, the thousands of pounds for your customers, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah, you can make a lot
So
of money.
yeah, so basically that's the value creation. And the ways to value creation are basically that either you create a absolutely new value, yeah, or if you create more value is that using some, efficient processes, you try to produce more. Yeah. And creating a better
Okay.
value, yeah, is basically no matter you create more or less, but whatever you produce, its quality should be best. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are basically the ways you want to focus on, that which type of the value you want to create. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to implement a value creation strategy, yeah, then the senior management has to be fully committed to the project. This means that the role of the manager in the implementation of the value creation is crucial. Yeah. So how you can implement it? In order to successful, manager is defined within the terms of value creation needs to possess the following qualities, which qualities that they must show themselves to be committed to the idea of value creation in both words and actions. So what they want to, to do, which value creation they want, they should be committed. They must communicate clearly and comprehensively how they envisage the entire organization. They must demonstrate flexibility in order to accommodate the value creation. Yeah, they must show how they see value creation and beneficial to the entire organization. So some theoretical, definitions. Yeah, they should be, they itself have meaning, but overall, that someone who wants the value creation implemented, they should be have some these, points to be considered. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So let's say commitment is important. Yeah, the communication is important, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
of course, yeah.
the flexibility in accommodating the value is important. Yeah, and they must show how they see the value creation. Yeah, that whether it's a beneficial to the organization or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's basically the idea behind the implementation. And now uh, we discuss about the competitive advantage. Yeah, so the basically the strategic information systems are information systems that are developed in response to corporate business initiatives. They are intended to give the competitive advantage. Yeah, I believe you must have gone through the strategic management in level 5. Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, so core four of the competitive advantages which are uh, you know being discussed every time, that if you want a competitive advantage, then number one is deliver a product or service at a lower cost. That is one of the factor of a competitive advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. So that's the
And
main one, isn't it?
as a main thing, and the second one is they deliver a product or service that is a differentiated. Yeah, so differentiated, like it should have a more qualities than the others, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah.
Focus on a specific market segment. Yeah, so you should be able to know where exactly you are trying to sell and where you want to sell it, whether in the existing or creating a new market, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
and it should bring some innovation. Yeah, and so that you should be bringing something new and uh, excited, and we should have you know changing demand as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was about the competitive advantage. Yeah, so value creation
Yeah,
is
okay.
somehow the related with the competitive advantage. However, value creation is more focused that how you would be producing the more outputs with the less input. Yeah,
Yeah.
financially. Yeah. However, the the competitive advantage is that producing a product at lower cost as well as differentiated product, and marketing on focusing on the market and innovation. So we can say that value creation is a one part of the competitive advantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Furthermore, buy or make or buy decision. So make or buy decision is that whether do you want to create a wheel or you want to buy the wheel.
Okay, yeah.
Make or buy decision is an act of choosing between manufacturing a product in house or purchasing it from an external supplier. Yeah. So, for example, if you need some raw material, yeah, for your manufacturing company, then probably you could process the raw material at your own, factory. Maybe it could be cheaper to you, but for example, if your production, limit is limited, and if you require more space to store the raw material, then would it be, sensible to uh, you know, uh, stock the raw material?
Not really, no, because it's space, isn't it? Or I guess you would need it beforehand, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there are lots of basically concerns, like if you want to
Hmm.
make in-house production, then you need to include the expenses of the uh, purchase, maintenance, yeah, equipment, cost, material, yeah, labor, and
Hmm.
many things, storage. And when you buy, then obviously, uh, if you are thinking, for example, if something is very cheap, but the delivery cost, the sales tax applied, and other, uh, duties, customs, and they would again make it, much more expensive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
what would be the best thing to do is to have the materials in and use them as soon as you can.
There is no definite answer behind it for everything. At some place,
Yeah.
yeah. At some places, maybe the stocking and stocking the raw material could still be a business itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you want to extend your business and the raw materials are extended, if it gives you a worth, yeah, the another business to your organization for the usage of by yourself, and maybe selling it to others, then it could still be the option. So that strategy you need to work out, that which thing is better, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So furthermore, make or buy, decisions. There could be lots of examples, yeah, and are given. I have already seen, on the internet, and that they have given. Let's say, for example, if you buy, uh, uh, if your company has got anything, to produce it, for example, $2, and if the raw material is 50 pence, yeah, and then creating, or the uh, holding and keeping, and doing everything on your own, means making, it is costing you $1, yeah. And look at the parameters, if you want this for the short term or the long term, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So different examples have a different value, and the decision. So basically, overall, the idea is behind it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then cost and benefit analysis. So cost and benefit analysis is, the naturally, it's a very easy thing, isn't it? But
Yeah.
sometimes, in the personal life, yeah, sometimes you don't really work on this, isn't it?
No. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you make full decisions, yeah. And for example, people say, if I spend the some of the rent, yeah, over next 5 to 10 years, or until the retirement, then paying the mortgage rates, yeah, would be more suitable, and the advantages, than the what should I say, than renting. Yeah, that's the one aspect. Yeah, and maybe the other
Yeah.
aspects could be involved. That if someone don't want to invest for long time, yeah, and they could invest into something else, would could give them much more profit than the buying a house. Makes sense?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
For example, if you have got let's say 50,000 to invest for the house, and then you would be saving, let's say, 600 pounds a month, yeah. And
Hmm.
but if you are not buying a house and investing the 50,000 into a business, yeah, then probably you can make 1 million out of it, and within 5 years you could own, let's say, 5 houses, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice.
Yeah. So normally what they do, how to calculate the cost and benefit, you brainstorm the cost and benefit, that what would be the cost of the project, and what would be the benefit out of it. For example, if you want to create, let's say, a product, yeah, if it is costing you £1, and if you want to sell it easily for £2, yeah, then the £1 would be the benefit. Yeah. So
Okay.
easy way would be the total cost and the benefit. Yeah. So you subtract the total cost, and overall you compare it, that how do you want to go ahead, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the idea behind the cost and benefit. Yeah. So simply, you know uh, these are the terms used into the organizations, yeah, for the introducing the change basically, yeah. If they want,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, if they want to introduce a change and expect the outputs, value added outputs, then they look at the cost and benefit, as well as they look at the make or buy decisions, yeah. They try to have the competitive advantage, yeah. And they look at the value creation strategy, yeah. And how using the information systems, yeah. So information systems, they help, the different kind of information systems help them, in order to implement it, isn't it?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the next LO, we will further go into the detail about the in which strategy they need to do, how to implement the strategy, and what are the different models, those which focus on the strategies. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That'd be
right.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I believe that the session would have been interesting, although it was a pure theoretical and some no interesting thing into it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
No. That's
but
fine. Yeah.
we discussed with the practical examples, and I believe that you know uh, those were very good and should be useful. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Definitely.
So that's all, and we end the session now. I see you again next week. Yeah,
Yep. See you next
all
week.
right.
Take care.
Right. See you. Bye.
Bye.